All right, my little math friends, here we are. We are moving further into Chapter 3. Now we are on 3.4c, and we're going to be talking about multiplying and dividing rational numbers. All right, so the good news is we are still going to use the same rules that we used in Chapter 2 for integers. Okay, those are positive and negative numbers. So we're going to use those same rules from Chapter 2, and here they are. If the signs are different, the answer will be negative. And if the signs are the same, the answer will be positive. All right, so we're going to use those same exact rules. We also have some other rules that we have to use. I know you guys have seen these rules before, but they're rules that have to deal with how to multiply and divide fractions. Okay, and I gave you guys some con assignments on this, okay, to help you review and remember how to do this, okay? So if I go through some of these examples and I show you some of these rules and you're thinking, okay, like I don't really remember how to do that, that's no problem, all right? Take a look at some of these con assignments maybe, talk to me in class. I can help you guys remember how to go about using the different rules for multiplying and dividing fractions and decimals. I'll be happy to show you that. I'm going to show you guys quickly as I'm working out the problems here. And hopefully that'll be a good refresher for you guys on how to do this. Okay, if not, please come and talk to me about it and we will get this figured out. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start right here with multiplying fractions. Here we got -7 times 3/8. All right, so we're going to go ahead and multiply that out. Here's what we got to do though. Okay, we have this whole number 7. All right, but we got to change that whole number 7 into a fraction. Okay, so we're going to change 7 into a fraction by just sticking a 1 underneath that puppy. All right, just like that. So we got our whole number 7 with a 1 underneath of it. That's going to change that into a fraction. Now we can go ahead and multiply that by 3/8. So I'll bring my 3/8 down. All right, now I'm ready to multiply that. Multiplying fraction says you have to multiply straight across. So we got 7 times 3 is going to give us 21. 1 times 8 is going to give us 8. All right, so we just got our answer. 21 over 8. The problem with that is this is an improper fraction, so we want to go ahead and turn that into a mixed number. All right, we need to find out how many times 8 would go into 21. You might be able to do that mentally. If not, let me show you over here to the side on what you're going to do. You're going to take 21, divide that by 8. 8's going to go into 21 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Now I'm going to subtract that. Got to borrow. 11 minus 6 is going to get me 5. And then 1 minus 1 will give me 0. All right. So 8 went into 16 2 whole times. So that is going to be my whole number. And then I have a remainder of 5, which I'm going to use to make my fraction. All right. So it's going to be 5 over 8. All right, this is something you guys have probably done before. That's just a little quick review for you on that. All right, that's our answer. Last step we got to do is we need to check these rules up here. We need to figure out if it's going to be positive or negative answer. Since these two numbers are different, one's negative, one's positive, we're going to make our final answer negative. All right, there we go. That is what we got. -2 and 5/5 is our answer for that one. All right. Now take a look at this problem over here. We got all kinds of stuff going on here. We got two fractions multiplied, and then we got a whole number 5 over here multiplied. All right. No worries. We're going to work that out. Just like our rules for multiplying, we're going to start from the left, and we're going to work our way to the right on this problem. Okay. So we're going to start over here and work our way this way. All right. First setup we have is we have -4 over 5 times -2 over 3. So I'm going to multiply those two out right here. They're already lined up, so I'm not going to rewrite them. So I'll put my answer right down here. I have 4 times 2 is going to get me 8. and then 5 times 3 is going to get me 15. Okay, we just multiplied those fractions. Last step, check your signs. Since they are both the same, our rule up here says our answer is going to stay positive. So we're just going to leave it positive, 8 over 15. All right, this part is done. We just got that taken care of. Now let's drop this 5 down here, and we are going to get that multiplied by 8 over 15. All right, whole number 5, turn that into a fraction, times, we're going to put a 1 underneath of that guy, just like that. Now we can go ahead and multiply that together. All right, 8 times 5 is going to get us 40, and 15 times 1 is going to get us 15. And oh man, look at that, we got ourselves another improper fraction, which means we're going to have to change that into a mixed number. So let's go ahead and do our division over here off to the side. We're going to have to take 40, and we're going to have to see how many times 15 is going to go into 40. All right, I know that's going to go in there 2 times. 15 times 2 is 30. Subtract that. That's going to get me a remainder of 10. Now I can go ahead and make my mixed number. It went in there 2 whole times, so that's going to be a whole number 2, and I'm going to have 10 as my remainder. That's going to go on top of the fraction. 15 is going to go on the bottom of the fraction. All right, and look at this, guys. We still have one more step to do. Do you think we can simplify this fraction here? If you answered yes to that question, then you are absolutely right. We can simplify this, so we are going to simplify this fraction down. We can divide both 10 and 15 by 5. So if I do that, that is going to get me 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Ooh, I almost wrote a 5 there. There we go, that's better. All right, so that's going to simplify down to 2/3. So now I'm going to write my final answer down here. 2 and 2/3. Now I got that simplified all the way down. Last step, we got to check our signs. Well, this was already positive. This 5 was positive, so our answer is just going to stay positive because they were both the same. All right, we got those two taken care of. Now let's take a look at some division problems with fractions. All right, division problems with fractions, we got a little step that we have to do when dividing fractions. You guys might remember this. It involves the second fraction. This guy right here, this guy's going to have to flip upside down. All right, and then we're going to multiply. Okay, so it's going to look like this, guys. We're going to leave the 2/3 exactly the way it is. All right, 2/3 is fine. Leave it like that. We're going to multiply, but you got to take 1/5 and you got to flip it upside down to make it 5 over 1. All right, you guys remember that? So now we're ready to multiply. We're going to multiply straight across just like we did on the other problems up above. 2 times 5 is going to get me 10. And then 3 times 1 is going to get me 3. All right. Check your signs. These are both negative numbers. So this is going to, our answer is going to be positive. All right. But there's one more step on this answer because this is an improper fraction. We need to change that into a mixed number. If you just do some quick division over here, or maybe you can do this in your head, that's fine. Either way, I'll show you here real quick though. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, and you got yourself a remainder of 1. So this improper fraction is going to change to 3 because it went in there 3 whole times, and 1/3. 1 is our remainder. All right. Circle that answer. We already said it's going to be positive, so we're going to leave it positive just like that. Okay. Last problem here. Now we got this funky thing going on right here, this division symbol, okay? So we got couple different things going on. We got a whole number 9 up here, and it's negative, and then we got this division symbol, all right? No worries on that, though. That just means divide, and this fraction down here, our bottom fraction, that is going to be our second fraction that we are going to flip, okay? So let's get this thing set up. We got a whole number 9. Change whole number 9 into a fraction by sticking a 1 underneath of that puppy. All right, just like that. So we're going to leave it just like that there. And then this 2/3, since that's our second fraction, okay, we're going to multiply, but we're going to have to flip 2/3 around, make that guy 3/2. Now we can go ahead and get this problem solved. All right, so we got 9 times 3 is going to get us 27. And then 2 times 1 is going to get us 2. And geez, we got improper fractions all over the place on these problems. All right, no worries. We're going to go ahead and get this worked out. So we're going to take 27, divide that by 2. We can do that over here to the side. All right, 2 goes into 2 one whole time. Subtract, bring down your 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. And there's our remainder right there. Okay, remainder of 1. So to rewrite this guy, it's going to be a whole number of 13. That's how many times 2 went into 27. And we had ourselves a remainder. Put that on top of the fraction and put your 2 down here on the bottom. All right, 13 and a half is our final answer for that problem. All right, now take a look. We got to go and check our signs here. Okay, don't forget that. Save that for your last step. Check your signs. They are different. This guy was negative. This number down here, this fraction was positive. Since they're different, we're going to have to make that negative. All right, so we can sneak a negative sign right in there. Okay, very nice. There is our fraction multiplying and dividing. Let's check out some decimal division here. So here we got 2.7 divided by -3. All right, no worries to set this up. We're going to take 2.7, divide that by -3. 2.7 is going to go on the inside. 3 is going to go on the outside. Now we're just going to go ahead and divide this. 3 goes into 2 0 times. All right, so now we got 3 going into 27. That's going to be 9 times. 3 times 9, 27. Take that away. And we got ourselves 0 as a remainder. So the last step we got to do, take this decimal point right here, move that straight up. So that answer is going to become 0.9. All right. Take a look at what the sign needs to be. This number was positive. This one's negative. So we're going to make this negative 0.9. All right. Perfect. Just like that there. Let's take a look at another example. Here we got this one with this funky division bar going on again right here. Okay, both these numbers are negative and both of these numbers have decimal points. All right, so let's set this problem up and we'll figure out what we're going to do. We're going to take the number here on the top, 9.6. It's going to be divided by 1.2. All right, so we're going to set it up just like this. Take 9.6, that's your number on top. It's going to get divided by the number on the bottom. All right, so we got 9.6 being divided by 1.2. Okay, and we got this sneaky little rule about dividing decimals. When we have a decimal point out here, we got to do something with that thing. And what we're going to do, you have to take this decimal and you have to move it to the very end of the number. Okay, so that decimal point is now going to move right there, which is going to make this number 12. And then Our rule says if we move this decimal point, we have to move this one the same amount of times. All right, so I have to move this decimal point over one space, put it right there, get rid of it. So now this number became 96. All right, that's our rule. If we move this one, then that means we got to move this one over here too. Okay, so now we got 12 going into 96. All right, 12 goes into 96. That is going to be 8 times. 8 times 12 is actually 96, so that works out nice. Subtract those two, you get yourself a 0. And since we have a 0 here, we don't really have to continue on dividing here because it's just going to be a whole number 8. All right, if we did continue dividing, I mean, we could put this decimal point right there, and you could say 12 goes into 0, 0 times, take away 0, you still got 0. So 8.0 is just the same as 8. All right, last step, guys, check your signs. Both of these numbers were the same, they're both negatives, so we're going to keep this 8 positive. All right, there is our answer for that division problem. Okay, one more example for you guys here. Same type of thing. We got this division bar here. We got this number on top is going to get divided by the number on the bottom. So 16, that guy is going to go on the inside, and 0.4 is going to go on the outside. All right. Same thing we did in this other problem here. Our number here on the outside, 0.4, we got to take this decimal point, and it needs to move to the very end of the number. All right, so now this number is going to become 4, and our rule also says we have to move the decimal point over here on this number. The problem is there is not a decimal point there. So since that's the situation, let's just make ourselves a decimal point, stick one. If there's none there, put one right at the end of the number. Okay, so great. We got ourselves a decimal point right there. We still got to follow this rule. It has to move over one space. So take that decimal point, move it over one space, and look at this weird thing. We have the decimal point moved over one space, but we have an empty spot. Empty spots are where zeros go. So that number had to become 160. All right, so now we have 4 going into 160. Let's go ahead and take care of this division now that we got those decimal points moved. 4 is going to go into 1 0 times, but it will go into 16 4 times. 4 times 4, 16. Take that away. You got your 0. You can bring down this 0. And then 4 goes into 0, obviously 0 times. And we don't have to worry about a remainder because we know we're not going to have one. All right, so our final answer is going to be 40. That's how many times 4 would go into 160. Check the sign of your answer. Our number on top here was positive. This number's negative. They're different. So our answer is going to be negative. All right, there you go, guys. There is some multiplying and dividing of fractions and decimals. Again, if you guys are stuck on some of these rules for how to divide fractions, multiply fractions, dividing decimals, please come and see me or take a look at those con assignments and to help you guys get a refresher on that. Okay, don't forget about your try this problems. You guys got 2 of them. We'll see you guys next time in class, and we'll work some more of these out. Thank you for watching.